Hello friends, welcome to Target UPSC. Myself Dr. Sudarshan Luda. This is the fourth lecture of our main series. The first three videos you can go and watch in the playlist. In today's video, what we are going to cover is examples with respect to ethics. Until you are able to link the ethical concept with the current examples, you are not going to get good marks. Many students could not clear this year's mains because they scored very less in the ethics paper, and most of your preparation is focused towards theoretical aspect, but UPSC is trying to check the application of ethical concepts. So until you are able to link the theoretical aspect with the current examples, you would not get good marks in ethics. So make sure you follow this lecture till the end, and if you like this lecture, please share it among all your friends. Secondly, you would find the notes of this lecture in our Telegram group. That is Target 30 UPSC. You can go and join that. To continue with it, the first and most important example with respect to corporate governance you should know. Basically, corporate governance is running the company or private organization based on principles which protects the interest of all the stakeholders. Initially, the concept was towards protection of the interest of shareholders. Now, the concept has changed to protection of the interest of all the stakeholders. So, who are all the stakeholders? The various stakeholders in a company are government, the creditors and shareholders, environment, society and consumers. So when the company focuses on protection of interest of all, that company is said to be following the principle of corporate governance. One of the important examples with respect to failure of corporate governance which you can write is with respect to Johnson & Johnson case, where they use faulty implants in the patients and thus leading to disability of the patients. This is a wrong practice which was followed by Johnson & Johnson and for which they were fined. But this phenomena is a classic example of failure of corporate governance, where they focus exclusively on profits and not on the welfare of the consumer. Secondly, you can write these examples with respect to failure of professional integrity on the behalf of doctors, because in spite of knowing that these implants were faulty, they use these implants. That is also an example of a lack of professional integrity. Thirdly, you can write these examples in GS2, where it was a failure of regulatory body which did not stop this, which did not detect this problem and allowed using this implants. So, एक important aspect आप लिख सकते हैं with respect to Johnson & Johnson case. Next important example with respect to failure of corporate governance, you can write the example of Volkswagen, where they fudged the emission data of the car emissions and continued polluting the environment. So this is a wrong practice and it was against the principle of corporate environmental responsibility and thus leading to the damage to environment and climate. So एक important example आप वो लिख सकते हो. But on the positive side, you can also write example of Tata Sons and various Tata Trust which focuses towards helping the community through various initiatives like the scholarships, the Tata Cancer Hospital, and during this COVID times also Tata ensured that they contributed maximum towards this COVID crisis. तो एक important aspect आप लिख सकते हो. तो ये corporate governance में ये एक important example आप लिख सकते हो. Simultaneously, you can write the examples with respect to Sahara chit fund case, where the various consumers and customers were cheated and the principle of corporate governance was not followed. They did not ensure transparency in their functioning. तो वो भी आप केस लिख सकते हो. Second important aspect, जब भी ethics का example आए तो courage is an important value, and as APJ Abdul Kalam said कि courage is the most important value, and without courage you cannot ensure any other value. You cannot even if you are honest and if you do not have the courage, you would not come out and speak the truth. So courage is the most important value. And few of the important examples where courage was ensured is, you can write example of Satyendra Nath Dubey, who did not care about his life and came forward and came forward with respect to the corruption cases in NHAI and lost his life. So that was an example where he showed courage and ensured that the corruption stopped. तो एक एग्जाम्पल विद रिस्पेक्ट टू करेज आपको पता चाहिए. रामनाथ गोयनका ड्यूरिंग इमरजेंसी, he criticized the government during emergency and brought out the facts in front of the people, and during during emergency he went to the jail, did not care about his life. तो एक important example आप लिख सकते हो. यूसुफ. Simultaneously, Malala का example with respect to promoting education and not caring about her life is also an important example, जहाँ आप courage का example लिख सकते हो. तो बहुत important examples with respect to आपको courage लिख सकते हो. Simultaneously, if you see in the present times, one important administrator about which you can write with respect to showing integrity, probity is U. Sagayam, who ensured that he was the first person to disclose his assets, and his work in Tamil Nadu with respect to promoting transparency and working towards curbing corruption are well known. To वो एक example of U. Sagayam where he showed transparency with respect to his assets and was the first bureaucrat to come forward and to disclose his assets, shows the highest level of probity and integrity. तो एक important example आप लिख सकते हो. One important example with respect to dealing with corruption and ensuring that there is good governance is the step taken by government with respect to tax administration, that is introducing faceless assessment in e-assessment, thus leading to reduction in corruption and greater transparency. So an important example है with respect to ensuring people-centric and citizen-centric administration. So you can write this example. One important example of conflict of interest is of Chanda Kochhar case and ICICI Bank, where she gave loan to person associated with her husband's business, and thus diverging from her primary role of protecting the interest of the bank and giving more preference to her personal interest. So that is a classic case of conflict of interest, where she gave loan to a company associated with her husband. With her husband, and thus affecting the primary interest of the bank. तो एक important example है. Simultaneously, on a positive note, you can give example of Justice Joseph Kurian, who did not attend a dinner which was simultaneously attended by the Italian officials, because he was on the bench which was looking into the case of Italian Marines who killed the Indian fishermen. To avoid conflict of interest, he did not attend that dinner in spite of invitation, because that dinner was also being attended by top Italian officials. So ये एक important examples है where he avoided conflict of interest and ensured that highest level of integrity is ensured. तो बहुत important examples with respect to Chanda Kochhar and Justice Joseph Kurian आप लिख सकते हो. Sport ethics में you can write examples of highest level of integrity shown by Sachin Tendulkar, where he walked even before umpire giving the decisions. So बहुत important है. And on the negative side, the incident of Steve Smith and David Warner, where they use unethical means to win the match, which shows that means are also important, and your ends cannot justify the means which you have followed. तो वो एक important example जो हमने पिछले lecture में देखा है वो आप लिख सकते हो. So if you like our lecture, you can join our ethics batch. We are starting a second batch soon, and the details are in the description box. You can go and visit our website and go and look at the playlist. If you like our lectures, you can subscribe to the course, that is ethics module, and please share our video. Thank you.